Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. We start tonight with some breaking news out of Spokane Valley. That's where deputies are involved in a SWAT standoff with a suspect holed up inside a home at this hour. It's all happening at that home near East Indiana Avenue and North Long Road. We don't have a lot of information at this hour, but here's what we have confirmed with the sheriff's office. They say they received a call from Stevens County about a possible wanted child sex assault suspect. When patrol deputies arrived, they saw who they believed to be the suspect go inside the home. A short time later, they heard a loud noise believed to be a gunshot. They have not been able to make contact with anyone since, so they have set up a perimeter and are waiting for a judge to sign off on a warrant to enter the home. We will continue to follow this story and bring you any updates just as soon as they are available. And new tonight, we have just learned the identity of the man killed in a small plane crash in St. Mary's, Idaho. Jerry Siebert had just celebrated his 70th birthday yesterday. Tonight, officials are investigating what exactly led up to his death. Our crews in St. Mary's just heard from officials, and they say Siebert was trying to come back to the airport, but never made it.
It appears the pilot attempted to return to the airport, and in the turn back is when the crash happened. It's in a hayfield about a quarter mile from the end of the runway. So this is our on-scene portion. We plan to be here for 2 or 3 days. It's our fact gathering phase. We're trying to document and gather perishable evidence, which is evidence that can change with time.
The NTSB says they'll be on the scene, as you heard, for a few more days investigating. In the meantime, KREM 2 Shannon Mowdy was in St. Mary's all afternoon and explains what we know so far about this crash.
This is the St. Mary's Airport behind me here, where the Benewah County Sheriff's Office says that plane took off shortly before crashing into a nearby field. The 70-year-old pilot did not survive after crashing into the hayfield less than half a mile from the airport. Valerie Sutherland represents airplane owners and pilots in St. Mary's and says there were immediate signs of trouble after takeoff.
An eyewitness said they noticed smoke coming off of the engine, and a family member has told the sheriff's department that the pilot did announce engine failure before he crashed.
Sutherland says the pilot was from the Seattle area and was in town visiting family.
Also, unfortunately, he just turned 70 yesterday, and he's from the Seattle area, and he was visiting family for the holidays and celebrating his birthday.
The FAA and NTSB are taking over this investigation. We are expecting an update later tonight. Right now, officials are not releasing that pilot's name to protect his family's privacy, though I have been told next of kin has been notified. In St. Mary's, Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
We have new information tonight on the bomb threat that grounded all flights at the Spokane airport for several hours last night. 38-year-old Brandon Scott is accused of making that threat while on an Alaska Airlines flight headed to Seattle, diverting that plane to Spokane. KREM 2 obtained audio from the cockpit the moment pilots learned that Scott allegedly made that threat 30,000 feet in the air. Just hours ago, that suspect faced a judge for the first time, and coming up in 10 minutes, KREM 2's Janelle Finch takes us to the courthouse. In an exclusive KREM 2 interview, we are hearing from a passenger on that Alaska flight. Kaylina Torres describes the tense moments that she and her fellow passengers evacuated the plane.
We're hearing the announcement that there's a mechanical issue and we're going to do an emergency landing in Spokane. They had told us we're going to land. Don't worry about all the cops and fire trucks. That's just protocol when we announce an emergency landing.
But as we have learned, there was no mechanical issue. Next thing Torres knew, police escorted the man off the plane in handcuffs there. You can find her full interview on our website, KREM.com. All right, let's switch gears and talk weather. We are ending a week of hazy weather and entering a hot weekend. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy the Goo. Jeremy, we're going to get pretty close to triple digits, aren't we?
Oh, we're going to be knocking on the door in parts of the inland Northwest. Definitely going to get there, but it's another warm night here in Spokane. Temperatures sit closer to 80 than not. 78 degrees. When it comes to our air quality, we still sit at good. Someone messaged me earlier and said, hey, stop talking about air quality if it's all good. But here's the thing, a lot of people are asking, hey, what's this smoky haze overhead and is it impacting air quality? The answer is no. which is a good thing. It's all coming from those wildfires up in Canada. Those are still burning, and we are still dealing with some of that smoke. The good news is it pushes out by later in the day tomorrow, and we'll eventually see that change. A few scattered storms take us through tomorrow afternoon, very similar to the past couple of days. And then as we head into the weekend, it's even hotter, even sunnier, and even drier. 92 and hazy tomorrow, 94 and mostly sunny on Saturday. Sunday, 96 degrees in parts of the inland Northwest, easily in the triple digits.
All right, well, brace for that hot weather, Jeremy. Thank you very much. A husband and wife are wanted by the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office for several violations. Deputies say Gene Massey violated the conditions of the sex offender registry and violated probation as well. Deputies say his wife, Wendy Massey, also violated probation. Detectives want to resolve their warrants but have not been able to because they say they can't find them. So if you recognize them or know where they are, deputies ask that you contact the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office tonight. Also new, Ocean Gate announcing today they will be suspending all operations and future explorations. Today, 2 more expeditions were planned for 2024 rather. The company did not say anything more. They simply put a red banner at the top of their website. This all comes after one of the company's submersibles imploded on a mission to the Titanic, killing all 5 people on board. The implosion is still under investigation. And now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. The Grant County Sheriff's Office had to detain a man for making threats near the Gorge Campground this morning. The campground is officially reopened for the first time in the wake of a mass shooting that killed 2 people and injured 2 others last month. According to the Sheriff's Office, the man was inside the campground, and as he was removed, he was overheard talking about explosives. Law enforcement believes the man did not pose a credible threat. The Gorge Amphitheater and Campground will be reopening for the first time this weekend for another concert. And staying in Kootenai County, a spokesperson for the Parks Department says Coeur d'Alene's Canada geese will not be euthanized like the Sandpoint gaggle was. Just last week, USDA Wildlife Services gathered and euthanized roughly 150 geese on the Sandpoint City Beach. According to the Coeur d'Alene Press, the city's Parks Department says the Sandpoint has a much bigger geese problem than Coeur d'Alene does. The city is electing to deal with the geese peacefully, they say, and cites that they often leave when people get close. And a heads up for drivers, a new ramp meter now in effect on eastbound US 2 to I-90 on ramp. WashDOT says the goal is to space out cars and control the flow of traffic while reducing on-ramp accidents. The meters will run between 2:30 and 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And by the end of the summer, WashDOT says there will be a total of 7 ramp meters in Spokane. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them right to your phone. Well, it's a new threat to Twitter. Instagram's new app called Threads is exploding right now. Just 2 hours after its launch, Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg said the service had more than 2 million signups. Then that number jumped to more than 23 million. Twitter is in a vulnerable spot right now after a string of mishaps. Just days ago, Elon Musk imposed limits on how many posts Twitter users can read per day, pushing some users and advertisers away.
Instagram has 2 billion users compared to around 250 million of Twitter. So if only 1 in 10 Instagram users tries using Threads, it's overtaken Twitter in the blink of an eye.
Users can integrate Facebook and Instagram profiles, and within the last few hours, we have learned that Twitter is threatening to sue Meta over its new app. New tonight, the FDA has given full approval to a landmark drug to treat Alzheimer's disease. It targets plaques in the brain, which then slows down the progression of the disease. A clinical trial found that it can slow the decline by 27%, and that's a delay of about 5 months. But there are risks. More than 1 in 10 users had brain swelling or bleeding, and 3 patients even died. Without insurance, the medication costs more than $26,000 a year, but approval could expand coverage. The case of a Texas man who was reported missing in 2015, then found alive this week, took an unexpected turn. Today, the police revealed it was all a hoax. The man was only gone for a day, then he and his mother tricked investigators for 8 years by using fake names.
After investigators talked with him yesterday, it was discovered that Rudy returned home the following day on March 8th, 2015. The mother, Janie, continued to deceive police by remaining adamant that Rudy was still missing. She alleged her nephew was a person friends and family were seen coming and going.
Rudy's relatives claim his mother sexually abused him, but investigators say there's no evidence of that at this time. The reason for the lying is still being looked into tonight.
Really, bro? You got to resort to this? Economy's not that bad.
A viral video that led to one man getting fired from his job. Santino Barola was behind the camera. He works at King Soopers in Colorado. He watched as a man walked out of the store with a cart full of things that he did not pay for. And that's when Barola started recording and confronted the guy. He got close enough to rip the foil off the man's license plate before that man drove away. The next day, he was suspended. Then a week later, he was fired. Kroger does have a policy against employees chasing after thieves, but Barola said he felt punished for just trying to do the right thing.